So I told my friend 6 months ago, I am done with LV bags. I sold and consigned all my LV bags, except one. It needs to get repaired before I sell it. So how did I end up buying an LV bag that I was never interested in? We'll start with a reveal, and I'll tell you the story how I fell in love. We'll discuss the February 2022 price increase and how much I paid for this bag, and will I be buying any more LV bags going forward? All right, let's get started. Surprise, even for me. She's a 21-year-old Speedy 30 Graffiti in the silver print. This bag came out in 2001 when Marc Jacob enlisted the help of Sprouse, who's an American artist and fashion designer, to reimagine the iconic Speedy 30. The Speedy 30 came out back in 1930s, and it wasn't until Audrey Hepburn asked LV to create the Speedy 25 that it had reached icon status. You can see photographs of Audrey Hepburn traveling in her Speedy 25. Although the Speedy 30 is iconic, it was never on my radar. I have a friend who's into the Speedies, and she actually has a Speedy 30. And last month when we were talking, I told her, I don't really get it. This is the original 2001 version. They actually reissued this Graffiti Speedy in 2009 in the smaller graffiti print in pink, orange, and lime green. And that one was actually not designed by Stefan himself because he actually passed away in 2004. All right, let's talk about how I ended up with this bag. So I went to What Goes Around Comes Around, which is a consignment store. Oh, by the way, this video is not sponsored by What Goes Around Comes Around. I would love it if they sponsor me, but it's not. I actually paid for this with my own money. I went to What Goes Around Comes Around because I went to go check out the Chanel Diana in the pink. And while I was walking around the store, I noticed that they had a wide selection of very hard to get Speedies. So the first Speedy I tried on was the Cherry Speedy. And although of the Speedies, that's one I preferred, it just wasn't as flattering as I thought it would be. So then I reached for the Camouflage Speedy, which I believe is the most highly coveted collector's item. And it was in almost pristine condition. However, I personally don't have any camo in my current closet, and I don't think it's a pattern I would actually wear. Then I saw the 2009 Pink Speedy, which has the smaller lettering. I tried that on, and it's definitely loud and eye-catching. However, when I tried this one on with the white, then I realized, oh my goodness, I have to have this in my life. Although the graffiti may seem busy, it actually is not. I find that the graffiti font is actually pretty tasteful. And although this bag has been around for 21 years, I don't find this print out of style. So as I'm holding this bag and trying it in front of a mirror, I'm trying to figure out how do I get this bag into my collection. So if you're familiar with What Goes Around Comes Around, their prices are actually pretty steep, but that's because they have super rare pieces in almost excellent condition. At the store, the salesperson offered me a 5% discount. However, I knew that they have 15% sales quite often, and Valentine's Day was right around the corner. So I took my chances and decided to wait to see if this bag goes on sale. And lo and behold, 10 days later, the bag went on sale. I added to cart and checked out right away. One thing to note, if you buy the bag from the store, it's actually final sale. So if you actually want to buy it and try it on, then order from the website like what I did. When you order from the website, they give you 7 days to return the bag if it doesn't work for you. The other thing to note is, currently What Goes Around Comes Around has stores in 2 states, New York and California. So if you actually order from the website and you ship it to a non-California or New York state, there's actually no sales tax right now. So I was able to save 15%, plus there was no sales tax. So first of all, don't detach the strap until you know for sure you want to keep the bag. Because once you detach the strap, even though you're within the 7-day period to ask to return the bag, they will not honor that. So as soon as I get the bag, I start inspecting the bag with the tag on. So I look all around here to see if there's any cracking in the canvas, over here. Then I go look in the corners here to see if there's any cracking in the canvas. All around here. The second thing I look for is to see if there's any wear in the piping. So I look all the way around here. And also I turn it over here and I look all the way around here. And then the next thing I look for is if there's any tarnishing or rusting in the hardware. So I look in here, I look over here, and then also right here. I look at the zipper pull. I make sure that this isn't ripping. Then the next thing I want to look for to see if there's an even patina in the vachetta. Vachetta is the raw, untreated leather that LV uses on their bags. And so as you can see, this one has a very even patina, meaning the honey color is very even throughout. Due to the oils in the hands, underneath the strap, this place will get dark. Then I look to see if there's any corner wear. So in this case, there is some slight scuffing. This is very light for a bag that's 21 years old. Some in here. That is definitely acceptable. Then I would open and close the zipper to see if that works well. And look inside your bag to make sure your bag has a date code. When you're doing this type of check, make sure you're either outside or in a bright area so you can actually see. And after you've thoroughly inspected your bag, and it's okay if that takes a couple of days, and you've decided that you're definitely going to keep it, at that point, I highly recommend that you get it authenticated by a third party. So I did have this bag authenticated by a third party, and some of these authentication services, you have the option of doing 30-minute, 1 hour, 2 hour, 12 hour, 24 hour turnaround, and they're pretty affordable. If you want a video about which authentication system I use and how I do it, I can definitely do that. So the authentication service certified this as being authentic. All right, so let's talk about why I chose this 21-year-old bag. It is widely known that the canvas quality has gone down. I recently ordered 2 monogram pieces on the website. I ordered the 6-key holder, and I also ordered the recto verso wallet. And when I received them, the canvas was super hard. For somebody who loves structure, in general, I should be happy with that. However, when I was feeling the new items, it didn't feel luxurious. But the bigger concern is the cracking of the canvas. So when I touch vintage canvas like this, it's more pliable. So even though it's more squishy, it actually feels more luxurious. And my thoughts are possibly that the new canvas items are stiffer, therefore it cracks more easily than a vintage item like this. When I'm buying new LV items or any luxury item, I really need it to last. And if they're fraying and cracking within 6 months, that is unacceptable for me. I don't know if you noticed this, but lately LV is coming up with more limited edition collections. However, to me, they're a little bit too playful, dare I say a little bit cartoony. Don't get me wrong, I love the catagram and the game on pieces. However, I prefer them as SLGs, as wallets that I can put inside a bag. But having a Speedy with cats on it, with hearts on it, it's really difficult to style. So that's one of the reasons I started looking at the vintage market. And one of the advantages of looking at the pre-loved market is you can look through 20, 30 years of Speedies to figure out which Speedy you want. Yes, they are hard to get, but trying to get a limited Speedy from the store is also very hard. The other thing about LV bags is they actually look better in person than in photos. I've seen this bag on celebrities, on websites. However, until I saw it in person, I really didn't get it. But now that I saw it in person, holy cow, I knew right away that this would end up in my collection. All right, let's quickly go over the February 2022 price increase. But before that, remember to like, subscribe, and leave a comment. So the Speedy 25 went from $13.50 to $14.90. That's a 9% increase. The Speedy 30, which is this size, went from $13.70 to $15.50. That's a 12% increase. And the Speedy 35 went from $13.90 to $16.20, which is a 14% increase. So now let's talk about the Speedy with the strap, which is also known as the bandolier. I'm pretty sure I butchered that. The Speedy 25B for bandolier went from $16.90 to $18.20. That's a 7% increase. The Speedy 30B went from $17.40 to $18.90, which is an 8% increase. And the Speedy 35B went from $1,800 to $1,960, which is an 8% price increase. So this one doesn't have a strap and doesn't come with a strap. The bandolier first came out in 2011. However, for my use, I don't need the strap. Although this is a luggage bag, I will not be carrying this as a luggage. With all the hand-painted acrylic lettering, you will see wear and tear really fast if I use this as a travel bag. Because this is the first limited edition collaboration, this is actually considered a collector's item. I don't overstuff my bags, so I'll put an organizer in here with a few things so that I could continue to maintain this excellent condition. If you want to use a Speedy for traveling, I do not recommend this version. I do recommend the bandolier version with the strap. You could secure a strap here to here. However, this bag was not designed or intended for that. So if you do decide to do that, you could rip the canvas underneath here. And once there's a rip in the canvas, LV will not service your bag. All right, so let's talk about the price of this bag. Currently, the Speedy 30 without the strap is $15.50. This bag, after the 15% discount and no sales tax, was $3,500. Yes, it was very expensive. However, you do have to factor in that this is a collector's piece and this is highly sought after, and a bag in this condition is very hard to come by. Whenever you're buying vintage bag, it's really difficult to see what other vintage bags come on the market. There is a chance I can find a bag in this condition, if not better, with a lower price point. There is a chance. However, there's also a chance that I could find a bag that is in way worse condition than this in a higher price point. So it really just depends on what you are willing to pay for. If I was interested in the bag a couple years ago, it would have definitely been less, but at that point, I was not interested in this bag at all. Because this bag is so expensive, I did consider buying a worse condition bag and having all the vachetta replaced. But after doing research for a couple of days, I decided against it. That topic is for another video, and I'll definitely be filming that after this. In this case, I was willing to pay the premium price to get this bag in almost excellent condition. I did sacrifice my watercolor doctor's bag, which I loved, didn't go with anything, never wore, but it was in my closet. But I love to look at it, At that time, I realized I love this bag more than that other bag that I just let go. So the last question I want to answer today is, will I buy more LV bags? I would buy more coated canvas bags produced in 2011 or earlier. In my research, I found out that Louis Vuitton changed their coated canvas somewhere between 2012 and 2013. So I'm definitely after the old canvas. So lastly, I do have a confession. I just added another Speedy to my wish list. I'm going to give myself a couple days to think about it. It is another limited edition piece. So if I do end up buying it, there'll definitely be another unboxing. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one.